Oh man, sorry about that, man. I think I know what I'm doing. When I try to turn my volume up on the side, it ends the video, right? But yeah, I know my son in a better place, man. I know he in a better place. I'm happy and thankful that I got to spend 13 years with him. Before God called him home. And yeah, it is messed up. Nobody should go through that. And I hope that I can spread a message and spread the word about asthma in kids, or kids' health. Period. Everybody health. Period. You have to be up on it. You have to stay up on it. If your child got asthma, make sure they got a rescue inhaler. Make sure they got one at school. Make sure they got one on their person. Have a plan a plan in place. If things start going bad. Cause my son, when my son started to have complications that night, it went at night. It was like 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. But when he started to have complications, it went from 0 to 100 within minutes. That's how fast that's how fast things escalated. And asthma, it's serious, man. I don't want nobody to lose you know, their life over. I don't want nobody to lose their life. Period. But especially from asthma, you know, and I'm not gonna go into the details as far as like what the ambulance could have did and what they should have did. But one thing I can say is that if I was a paramedic or a firefighter, and I got a call that a child was having an asthma attack, when I get there, I wouldn't be asking that child questions when they mom or they dad is right there. I just wouldn't be asking that child questions, right? Especially we talking about a child here, right? So my son used his last few breaths answering, trying to answer their question. I don't, I don't blame them. I don't, you know, I just, I hope that they did everything they could, and I hope they treated my son as if he were their family member, right? Because I think a lot of times, I really believe that if if paramedics and these doctors, they should treat every patient like it's their family, you know, treat them with care, all of that, you know. But grief, nobody can tell you how long you should be grieving, when you should be grieving, or how you should grieve, right? And if people can't be there for you, like be there for them, then you gotta walk away. You just got to, because it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Your sanity ain't worth it. Well, I mean, your sanity is worth it, but it's not worth it to go through that. Like everybody, everybody deserves to be happy. Like, who is somebody to tell you that you should be, going through something that you don't want to be going through? And when somebody going through grief, and for people that hasn't went through grief or don't know what it's like, or want to know how to be there for somebody, man, listen. It's simple as you just saying, "Hey, you okay? You okay today?" Like, when I lost my son, I would have been grateful if somebody would have called me and just been like, "How you doing today? You good?" No, just check on me. Did nobody check on me when my son passed? Yeah, I'm grown, but ain't nobody check on me, right? I wish somebody would have checked on me. I wish somebody would just picked up the phone and would have been like, "Yeah, I'm just calling to make sure you good." A lot of people say that, when you lose a child, that make other people sad, right? That to the point where they don't know what to say, so they stay away, right? Because I always wonder, like, hey, people don't check on me, and nobody say. And then somebody told me, like, yeah, they do care. It's just they don't know what to say. They so hurt and shocked by it. They feel like if they bring it up, it just causes more pain. So I understand both, but at the same time, being the one on the grief side, it matters every bit. Somebody picking up the phone and saying, how you doing? I'm just calling to check on you, make sure you good. You know, it's the littlest things that matter, man. It's the littlest things that matter. And it's 2025. Families is different. You know, families is different now. You know, family ain't family, right? You gotta mix the good with the bad, man. You know, I love all my family, man. You know, even if we don't talk, right? I try to tell people, you know, if you call me or text me and I don't reply, we not into it. Maybe I don't want to pick up the phone today. Maybe I don't feel like texting, man. Maybe I'm grieving my child. Maybe I'm having a bad day today. Or maybe I'm just having a bad freaking day, right? That has nothing to do with you. People like to insert themselves into the bull, into the BS, right? When there's nothing there, but people will make an issue, right? Because you ain't respond to them fast enough, right? When we grown, man, when you got kids, like, man, your priorities is different and more than just picking up a phone call. Like, what if I was doing something for one of my kids, right? That don't mean we into it. I seen that you called and text. I'll get back to you, you know. But you know, you ain't obligated to pick up for nobody or respond to nobody. You grown. You ain't gotta, and you don't have to answer nobody or why you didn't pick up the phone. People be sitting up there trying to question grown people. Man, listen, you grown. You ain't gotta answer to nobody unless somebody paying my bills or paying your bills. Man, it ain't their business, man. I'll call you when I call you. You understand? Yeah, man. But yeah, I just want to, touch, I just want to touch on grief, what grief means to y'all, and grief is a process. It don't happen overnight. It don't happen over 2 nights. Grief is it's a process, and it's gonna be hard. It ain't gonna be easy. You know, you know, you know, grief to me is like when I hear the word grief, I think of heartbroken. Cause that's what I compare it to as far as with my son. Like my son broke my heart. I'm still am heartbroken. I still am, right? You know. But I'm getting more and more back to myself, I'm drug free, I'm eating more, I'm gaining weight. This the most I've ever weighed in my life. So, every day is a it's gonna be a challenge, right? It's not gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy for nobody. It's gonna be a challenge. And first of all, anything that's easy to obtain usually ain't worth it. You know, when you really put in work for something, it means more to you, right? It just means more. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. Hey, man, y'all have a nice Friday. I don't know what the weather looking like this weekend. The sun out right now, but you know, man, hopefully y'all have a nice weekend, man. I'm dropping jewels every day. I'm dropping content every day. You can follow me, add me on Facebook, Crash Out Angels. Once again, Crash Out Angels. You know how to spell that. I'm the only one. I'm the only Crash Out Angels. YouTube is Crash Out Angels. My other Facebook, I got 2 Facebooks, right? Montreal Miller, Rich Boy Ree. And then I got my other Facebook, which is Crash Out Angels. I drop jewels on all of them. On all of them, it might be different content on this one, different on that one. You might see the same thing on all 3. You might, but I can promise you this: it's worth watching. I'm gonna keep you informed on I'm gonna keep y'all informed on other things. I'm gonna keep y'all informed on our roots, right? Where we come from, as far as like, we listen to hip hop, rap news, This channel gonna cover everything, man. Everything. Real life stuff, right? But like I said, man, comment what y'all want to hear. Any topics, anything y'all want, anything y'all want to hear about, But like I said, follow me on my road to sobriety. All right, I'll talk to y'all.